Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As we know, self-critique is essential for growth and progress as an artist. So this week I challenged myself to try and see if I could create a mood or atmosphere in my drawings. I found it is the elusive element to a good drawing, but it's also something that might be different for everyone and therefore can be quite subjective and really difficult to pinpoint in order to study it. But anyway, did you challenge yourself this week? Share your experiences and results with me in the comments if you did. But for now, join me as I share my own journey and progress on this channel, and let's inspire each other to keep pushing ourselves to improve. Let's take a look at how I did this week. Well, right out of the gate, we start with a disaster. A monstrosity that really made me wonder why I thought this was a good idea. I remember thinking that one of the aspects of creating mood is to have things emerge from the page, like it's, like this, like it's just, but this isn't it, and I really missed the mark. Do you ever draw something and just wonder what on earth happened? I think I just don't have the patience to be so delicate when covering so much of the page with graphite. Perhaps I might be doing it wrong. Perhaps there's a better, more efficient approach to this. But one thing I am sure of is I don't have the skill to pull this off yet. I'm going to blame it on lack of skill, which is something that can be improved. So after taking a bit of a hit to my confidence, I played it a little bit safe the next day, but I'm still running into the same problem with large masses of pencil on the paper. I seem to make it look really messy and scratchy, and that's something that I'm going to have to analyze more and see if I can work out what is actually going wrong and try a few different techniques to see if I can improve, make it better, just get better. But I think the profile itself is okay. I'm quite happy with it in concept. I just wish I was able to execute it better. I think it might be a good idea just to practice laying down some graphite with pencil in a more flat or uniform way. And the more I do that, the more I can feel a little bit more comfortable and play around with it maybe. So I don't know, it kind of feels like I'm a waste of time, but clearly it's a skill that I don't have yet. So, sometimes I think we just have to do these boring things just to elevate our work just a little bit more later on down the track. At least I think this is better than the day before. But did I manage to create a mood? In a way, I think the expression really carries the weight of that, and my pencil work certainly doesn't. Alrighty then, day 3, and I'm trying to slow down and work a few things out. I picked a simple reference to use, and I think this came out much better than the others. I think the extra time and patience I tried to put in shows. And I could have tried to get the likeness a little bit better, I think, but I wasn't too concerned as that wasn't really the point for this week. I think the background adds to the drawing and is a bit nicer than the last two, and I even managed to keep some of the pencil strokes without mushing things around too much or making it really messy. I spent a lot longer on the hair than I usually would, and each time I thought I was done, I tried to sit back and just see if there was something I could push a little bit more. And I think the extra time paid off. It might not be perfect, but it is certainly better than the previous 2 days. Day 4, and I thought this came out kind of okay as well. I think after the first 2 days where I was frustrated with how messy I made things, that maybe something happened in the background and perhaps I'm learning how to deal with that. I think the expression is a little bit forced, and I would like to eventually put a bit more of my own expression into my drawings as well. I try to not to overdo the background and use that as part of my own pencil marks going into it, if that makes sense. But one thing I noticed is that unfinished portions of the drawing can really create a little bit of interest. I think it leaves it up to the viewer to interpret the unfinished areas, almost like as humans we are always a work in progress. I like that idea. I think I also could have expressed that concept a little bit more and undone a bit more of the drawing. But overall, I'm quite happy with it. And in true form, the last day was a step back again. I forgot all the lessons I learned, messy pencil work, nothing left to the imagination. And somehow I also made this person look like a preteen accidentally. I just couldn't seem to make their hair look pleasing to view, so instead it's just a boring blob. I also tried to do something with the eyes, but overall I think I just missed the mark on this completely. I find this really an average drawing at best. So I tried to oomph it up and yeah, that didn't really work either. I tried to create some interest in the background by wrapping the background around her, but in the end I think I just made more of a mess. But when I was doing that I was just thinking I can't make this any worse, but I can be proven wrong. Also, she seems to be tilting a little bit too far forward. I tried to fix that when I scanned it, so I don't know. It might have been okay if I had balanced it better, but I didn't, and it just feels like something is missing, mostly skill. But this one is for the scrap drawer, unfortunately. Well, that's all the drawings for this week, so I think this was a bit hit and miss as usual. I think I'm starting to think that must be normal. Tell me if it's normal for you as well. Oh, and finding what creates that extra in a drawing is really subjective and quite difficult to point a finger at and say, yeah, that's it. There are things I found that made the drawing more interesting for me personally to view. Undrawing parts to leave it up to the imagination, perhaps properly directing the focal point, lost and found edges, things like obscuring parts, like I tried to in the first two but didn't work, contrasting ideas, which I totally forgot about trying out, and of course, really good lighting of the subject in an interesting way. Everything I learned during these challenges, I try to keep with me and work on them when I remember, of course. I forget a lot of the concepts when under pressure while drawing, but the more and more I can remember and incorporate, the more I think I will improve. And these are things I never even thought about before in previous years while drawing. I'm just hoping that by slowly gaining that knowledge and being able to use it bit by bit, that I can improve my skills that way. I guess that's all any of us self-learners can hope for. It's these points along the journey that guide you to discover what it is that you need to learn about to reach the next level. And there seems to be endless levels of drawing and art, but that doesn't matter because we are all going to be present for the journey. We can accept each piece as it comes to us, then while it seems difficult at the time, this piece is going to help us continue to grow. Who knew that I was, after all these years, that I would still be learning how to use my pencil. But with that said, I hope you found something useful in this video. Let me know if you did, or even just tell me what your struggles are with art at the moment. And next week is week 12, for sure this time. I went through the whole end of the last video thinking, oh, I've only got one more week to go, but yeah, no. But anyway, I'll have something to show you next Monday. So I hope you come back to watch it, and as always, remember to keep drawing, keep learning, and keep getting better.